I don't use Pandora Music all too much. Whenever I just want to check out a tune, I usually already have it on CD or on my phone, or I could just look it up on YouTube. So yeah, I'm not a big Pandora user. But it seems like whenever I do turn it on, no matter what station I go to, it could be Led Zeppelin radio or Rolling Stones radio, eventually, sooner or later, the song All Right Now by the band Free will pop up sooner or later. And it's kind of funny because I must have heard this song like 50 times this year. And what's even crazier is that before this year, I haven't heard that song once in my life, much less even heard of the band Free in the first place. So I was getting pretty curious. What is this song? What is this band? Because All Right Now is a pretty damn good song, even though I have heard it just so many times. So I was curious. I went out to the record store, and I was like, okay, maybe they have it. And lo and behold, they did. They had the album Fire and Water, and what do you know? All Right Now. Last track right there. So it's like, oh cool, they actually have it. And I was expecting these guys to rock a lot harder. But they are actually a pretty mellow, soft band. But don't take that the wrong way, because I freaking love this album. And yeah, they were a lot mellower than I expected. But they had this really cool, distinct sound. Unlike a lot of other bands of their era who were obsessed with stuffing every last second full of sound and noise and music, which there is nothing wrong with that. Free, thrived on space and, open places in their music. It's kind of cool, actually. Each one of the band members would be doing their totally own separate thing, from everyone else. And it would seem kind of discombobulated. But when it all came together, it just linked perfectly. And that's so cool. Now I know why their band is called Free. It's because their sound has this really open, wide sound to it. You could just step into one of their songs and walk around. It's really cool, and I kind of like them like that. So I think this is going to be a really fun album to review. Fire and Water. The opening track off Fire and Water is fittingly called Fire and Water, and it is a damn cool song. Something I really admire about this song is how that it's so heavy, yet it's not fast, there's no screaming, and it's not even that distorted or anything, yet it still sounds so heavy. It has this cool, slow-burning, sexy, grinding feel to it, and this primal, repetitive riff that just makes it sound so alluring. It's the perfect example of how Free could be both dangerous and mellow at the same time, and it's a great introduction to their sound. Oh, I Wept is somewhat of a fan favorite, and it's also the song where I realized, hey, this is Paul Rodgers from Bad Company on vocals. Bad Company is a supergroup, which basically means a band that's made up of members from other bands that just join together and make one big band. And Free is the band that Paul Rodgers came from, so that was kind of cool to know. Oh, I Wept is just a beautiful song. It's gorgeous. It has this really neat, melancholy, somber, melodic vibe to it. It's such a sad song, yet at the same time I almost feel kind of uplifted every time I listen to it. It's just really soulful, really nice song. Remember is just a sweet, nice little song that gives me about the same vibes as Oh I Wept does. Happy yet kind of sad at the same time. It's just about remembering all the good times you used to have with a person that loved you. One of the things I admire the most about Free is how young they all were. At this point in time, 1970, the youngest member of their band was bassist Andy Frazier. He was 17 years old and already part of a big-name rock band. That's a year older than me. I'm still living with my mom making YouTube videos, and he's already making thousands and thousands of dollars. Can't believe it. And despite being so young, their music was so deep and emotional. They weren't out for the money. They just wanted to make beautiful, soulful music. And Heavy Load is a perfect example of that. Unfortunately, my CD is kind of scratched, so Heavy Load is kind of ruined for me whenever I listen to it on my CD player. And that really sucks, because this song is awesome. The bass line is wonderful, the lyrics deep as ever, and the piano is just lovely. Great song. I can't think of a single other song that sounds quite like Mr. Big. It's an unusual, fascinating piece of music that grooves like no other. It has this really cool, jerky, funky rhythm that's almost hypnotic, and it perfectly utilizes the concept of instrumental spacing. All four guys are doing totally different, separate things. The instruments almost oppose each other, yet when they all come together, they just link up and form this perfect, amazing, awesome groove and song. I think that Paul Kossoff is slowly becoming one of my favorite guitarists ever. He is such a soulful player, and his riff here is so slinky and sexy and just beyond cool. Paul Rogers, as ever, his voice is powerful, intense, and moving, and especially on the chorus, he is ripping it up. Simon Kirke, his drum beat is so simple and plodding. It's so seductive and driving at the same time. I love it. It's one of my favorite drum intros ever, as simple as it is. And I think the real star here is bassist Andy Fraser, though. It's so cool seeing a bassist come to the forefront of a song, but right here, I think his riffs anchor down the entire track, and he even gets his own jam section towards the end of the song. I mean, it's just beautiful seeing all four of these guys come together, doing totally different things, yet just making such an amazing song. This is not only my favorite song on the album, it's also one of my favorite songs ever. Don't Say You Love Me just oozes of sadness, passion, and longing. It's a truly gorgeous track with just some ripping vocals and a great bass groove. If you got on the internet and looked up classic rock, All Right Now would probably be one of the first songs to pop up. Awesome riff, check. Catchy chorus, check. Play to death, check. Yet somehow it's still able to be fresh and kick-ass as ever, almost 50 years later. This was exactly the song that Free needed to get their commercial success and critical acclaim they rightly deserved. Well guys, that was my review. I hope you liked it. Remember to slap that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up on this video. I'd really love it if you did that, and I'd love it even more if you guys all checked out Free. They're a great band, super underrated, really talented, and I think everyone should be able to experience their awesome music. So until next time, bye!